Life can be tough. And sometimes you're going to find yourself surrounded by people who don't respect you. It happens to all of us. You're doing your best, giving your all, and you find yourself dealing with individuals who don't appreciate you, your efforts, or your time. It's like a punch to the gut, right? But let me tell you something, how you handle that moment defines who you are. You've got to be strong in the face of disrespect. You have to handle it with grace, strength, and confidence, not with anger or frustration. So let's talk about some ways you can deal with people who don't respect you. First of all, let me make something clear. The moment someone disrespects you, it's a reflection of them, not of you. You're the one trying to be decent, the one working hard, staying true to your principles. They're the ones who have the issue. So you can't let their lack of respect shake your core. You can't internalize it. That's the first thing you need to understand. The next thing, don't engage in their drama. When people disrespect you, the instinct might be to engage, to defend yourself, to explain why they're wrong. But engaging with that negativity will only drag you down. It's like sinking to their level. You don't want to waste your time in that. Think of it like this, you're walking a path of your own and they're off to the side, shouting insults and trying to pull you off course. Don't let them. Keep walking. And when I say don't engage, I don't mean that you let them get away with their behavior. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. You can stand up for yourself, but do it from a place of power, not anger. You've got to stay calm. When you respond to disrespect with calmness, it sends a message that their words have no power over you. You're still in control. And let me tell you something, that's a power move. One way to handle people who don't respect you is to set boundaries. And I don't mean boundaries in a passive way like, oh, please don't disrespect me, but setting clear, strong, and unwavering boundaries. You make it clear what behavior you won't tolerate. You make it clear how you expect to be treated. And if they don't respect that, then you don't give them the space to keep disrespecting you. You don't have to shout or raise your voice. Simply state your boundaries with confidence and stick to them. People who truly respect you will get the message. Sometimes, we're so worried about how others perceive us that we forget about what we think of ourselves. And when people disrespect us, that can hit at the core of our self-worth. But I'm telling you right now, you've got to start from a place of self-respect. If you respect yourself, others will respect you. The more you value your time, your energy, and your effort, the more others will see that and follow your lead. You don't have to beg for respect, you earn it by being the kind of person who doesn't allow disrespect in your life. Another thing is, take time to evaluate the people around you. Not everyone who crosses your path deserves to stay in your life. Some people just don't bring anything positive to the table. If you're dealing with someone who constantly disrespects you, it might be time to ask yourself if they even belong in your life. Are they adding value? Are they helping you grow? Or are they dragging you down? Life is short, and you don't have time to waste on people who aren't treating you right. You've got to be selective about who gets to stay in your circle. Sometimes walking away from disrespect is the best thing you can do for your own peace. Now, let's talk about something that many of us struggle with: forgiveness. You've been disrespected and you're hurt. It's understandable. But holding on to that hurt and resentment, that's like carrying a weight around that's only dragging you down. You don't have to forget, but you do need to forgive. And when I say forgive, I mean forgive for your own peace, not theirs. It's about letting go of the negative emotions that come with being disrespected. If you carry that weight around, it starts to impact your life in ways you don't even realize. Let go of it, move forward, and focus on the people who truly value you. In the same vein, you've got to understand that not everyone will respect you no matter what you do. Some people just don't have the capacity for it. That's the truth, and you have to be okay with that. It's hard, I know, but you can't let everyone's opinion define you. You've got to focus on your own standards and not let other people's lack of respect shake your foundation. If you base your self-worth on how others treat you, you'll always be at the mercy of their moods and actions. But if you base it on your own principles and the work you put in, then no one can take that away from you. When you come across someone who disrespects you, don't lower your standards to meet them where they are. Keep your head high and maintain your standards. You don't have to fight them or stoop to their level. If they're being disrespectful, let them deal with the consequences of their actions, not you. You're not there to fight every battle. You're there to keep walking forward with your integrity intact. And here's something that might sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful: keep your peace. Sometimes people will come at you with disrespect because they want to see you lose your cool. They want to see you react, see you break. But you know what happens when you don't give them that reaction? You leave them with nothing. They might be shouting into the void, but when you stay calm, when you keep your peace, it's like taking away their power. You refuse to let them control your emotions. And that's a win for you. People who don't respect you, they want to see you unravel. They want to see you lose control. But when you remain grounded, when you stay true to yourself, that's the ultimate power move. And that's when you start to realize that no one can truly disrespect you unless you give them that power. Now, I want to say this: don't be afraid to confront people when necessary. I'm not saying go around picking fights or being overly aggressive, but if you've been disrespected enough, you've got to stand up and say something. But here's the key when you do it. Do it with confidence and assertiveness, not aggression. You don't have to yell or make a scene. You can calmly, clearly state that their behavior isn't acceptable and that you won't tolerate it. People who have no respect for you often think they can get away with their actions because they don't think you'll speak up. But when you do, when you stand your ground, you command respect. And here's another important thing: remember that your value isn't tied to someone else's opinion of you. You've got to have an unshakable belief in your own worth. When you know who you are and what you bring to the table, no amount of disrespect can make you doubt yourself. If someone disrespects you, that's their issue, not yours. You've got to be so secure in your own self-worth that no one's disrespect can touch you. You don't let their opinion define you. One final thing I want to leave you with is this: don't let disrespect steal your joy. Life is too short to let the negativity of others drain you. When people disrespect you, you've got to rise above it. Keep doing your work, keep moving forward, and keep being the person you are. Don't let them rob you of your peace or your joy. You've got so much more to offer this world than to let someone else's lack of respect stop you from achieving your dreams. Keep your head up, keep pushing forward, and don't let anything or anyone get in the way of your greatness. At the end of the day, how you handle people who don't respect you is a testament to who you are. It's not about what they do or say, it's about how you choose to respond. You have the power to decide how you let others treat you, so choose wisely. Let your actions speak louder than their words. Stay grounded, stay confident, and above all, keep moving forward with strength and dignity. Don't let others' disrespect affect your sense of value. Your worth is not determined by how others treat you. Stay grounded in your own principles and self-respect. Establish strong, clear boundaries with people who disrespect you. Stand firm in your expectations for how you should be treated, and don't be afraid to enforce them. When confronted with disrespect, don't engage in drama or react impulsively. Respond with calmness, confidence, and assertiveness, showing that their behavior has no power over you. Evaluate the people around you and remove those who constantly disrespect you. You don't have to tolerate negativity. Prioritize relationships that add value to your life and growth. In this world, there are countless challenges that test our character, our resolve, and most importantly, our self-worth. Every day you encounter people, situations, and circumstances that may try to convince you that you aren't enough, that you don't deserve respect, or that you are somehow lacking. The reality is, life is full of moments where people will try to diminish your value, sometimes through their actions, sometimes through their words, or sometimes simply through their indifference. But here's the thing: your self-worth should not be contingent upon how others treat you or perceive you. It should be rooted in who you are as a person, your integrity, your beliefs, and your ability to overcome obstacles. Self-worth is about understanding and recognizing your intrinsic value. It's the knowledge that you are deserving of respect, love, and happiness simply because you exist, not because of anything you do or don't do for someone else. It's a profound, unshakable belief in your own dignity and ability, a belief that is not dependent on others' opinions or external validation. But achieving this level of self-assurance is not always easy. It takes time, commitment, and a great deal of inner strength to stand tall in a world where people can sometimes be quick to judge, criticize, or dismiss. Still, it's something that you must cultivate within yourself if you want to live a life free from the limitations imposed by others. The first step toward maintaining your self-worth is to recognize that it is something that comes from within, not from the validation or approval of others. In fact, basing your sense of self-worth on the opinions of others is a trap that many fall into. It can feel good when people praise you, acknowledge your talents, or compliment your appearance, but that kind of validation is fleeting. Today they may praise you, but tomorrow they might criticize you. If your self-worth is tied to what others think of you, then your sense of value will constantly fluctuate based on their moods, attitudes, or whims. This is an exhausting way to live. It is the equivalent of building a house on shifting sand. You cannot control how others perceive you, but you can control how you perceive yourself. It's essential to realize that your worth is not something you have to earn, it's already within you. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Your worth is inherent, and no one can take that away from you unless you allow them to. The sooner you internalize this, the sooner you begin to live authentically, free from the pressure to meet others' expectations. You don't need to constantly seek approval or attempt to fit into someone else's mold. Your value is not defined by your achievements, the accolades you receive, or the approval you gain from others. It is defined by your character, the strength of your convictions, your integrity, and your ability to stay true to yourself. Another important aspect of maintaining your self-worth is learning to set boundaries. People often undervalue themselves because they let others cross their boundaries without consequence. Boundaries are not about pushing people away or being unkind. They are about creating a healthy space where you can thrive without compromising your values or your well-being. Setting boundaries means knowing where you stand and not allowing others to manipulate, disrespect, or mistreat you. People who respect their own worth understand that they are worthy of their time, energy, and respect, and they won't tolerate anyone who attempts to diminish that. Boundaries also protect your emotional and mental health. When you allow people to disrespect you, take advantage of you, or manipulate you, you erode your self-worth because you're telling yourself through your actions that you're not worth standing up for. It can be difficult at first to set these boundaries, especially if you're used to people-pleasing or accommodating others at the expense of your own happiness. But once you begin to assert your needs and stand firm in your expectations for how you should be treated, you'll find that you not only preserve your self-worth, but you also gain a sense of peace and power. When you start living in a way that aligns with your true self, people will begin to take note. They will respect you more, not because you demand it, but because they can see that you value yourself. Self-respect is contagious. People often treat you the way you treat yourself. If you treat yourself with kindness and respect, others will be more inclined to do the same. But if you constantly allow others to mistreat you, to disregard your feelings, or to disrespect your boundaries, then you are teaching them that such behavior is acceptable. And ultimately, you are teaching yourself that you're not deserving of better. A major roadblock to maintaining self-worth comes in the form of comparison. The modern world constantly encourages comparison, whether it's through social media, media portrayals of success, or even just observing the achievements of others. The truth is, comparison is a thief of joy. When you compare yourself to others, you are essentially measuring your worth against something external, which is never an accurate or fair measure. The reality is that everyone has their own unique journey. Your path is different from someone else's, and so are your challenges, your strengths, and your experiences. No two people are the same, and trying to measure your success, your worth, or your value by someone else's standards will always leave you feeling inadequate. The key to stopping the cycle of comparison is to recognize your own value and achievements. Stop looking at other people's success as a reflection of your own lack. Instead, focus on your own growth, your own progress, and your own contributions. Celebrate your uniqueness. There is no one else like you in this world, and that in itself is something to be proud of. Instead of comparing, start practicing gratitude for who you are, what you've accomplished, and the positive impact you've had on the world around you. This shift in perspective will allow you to maintain a positive sense of self-worth, even when it feels like others are achieving more or being more recognized. One of the most powerful ways to maintain your self-worth is to practice self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on yourself when you don't meet your own expectations or when things don't go the way you plan. But self-compassion is about understanding that you're human, that you make mistakes, and that you deserve kindness, especially from yourself. It's about acknowledging your flaws without letting them define you and being gentle with yourself when things go wrong. Self-compassion allows you to keep your worth intact, even in moments of failure or hardship, because you know that one moment, one mistake, or one setback doesn't define your entire existence. In a world where everyone is striving for perfection, it can be difficult to accept your imperfections. But those imperfections are what make you unique. They are part of the beautiful complexity of who you are. Being kind to yourself during challenging times strengthens your sense of self-worth because it reinforces the idea that your value isn't dependent on perfection, but on your capacity to grow, learn, and improve. Moreover, maintaining your self-worth requires you to protect your mental and emotional well-being. The people you surround yourself with play a huge role in this. If you are surrounded by people who constantly bring you down, who belittle you, or who treat you as though you're less than, then it will be incredibly difficult to maintain your self-worth. It's important to cultivate relationships with people who uplift you, who recognize your value, and who support you in your journey. These are the people who remind you of your worth when you forget. They're the ones who celebrate your successes and encourage you when you're feeling low. It's also important to practice self-care regularly. Taking care of your mind, body, and soul is a direct reflection of the value you place on yourself. Self-care can take many forms, whether it's exercising, eating well, meditating, journaling, or simply taking time to rest and recharge. When you make time for self-care, you send a powerful message to yourself that you are worthy of love, care, and attention. It's an act of self-respect, and it reinforces the idea that you are valuable and deserving of kindness, not just from others, but from yourself as well. Finally, maintaining your self-worth requires resilience. Life will test you, and there will be times when you are knocked down, when people disappoint you, or when things don't go as planned. But resilience is what will help you bounce back. It's the belief that no matter what challenges you face, you have the strength to overcome them and continue moving forward. Resilience allows you to maintain your sense of worth because you know that setbacks are just temporary and that your value is unshaken by circumstances. It's the understanding that you are capable of growing through adversity and that your worth isn't defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond to it. At the end of the day, your self-worth is the foundation upon which everything else is built. When you recognize your value and maintain a strong sense of self-worth, you open the door to a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and empowered. No one can take that from you unless you allow it. Your self-worth is yours to define, and it should be something you protect fiercely, nurture regularly, and never let go of, no matter what life throws your way. Setting clear boundaries is a fundamental aspect of living a healthy, fulfilling life. It's about recognizing that you are in control of your life, your time, and your energy. Boundaries are not about pushing people away, but about creating a space where you can maintain your well-being, prioritize your needs, and preserve your peace of mind. Too often, people allow others to dictate how they live, what they feel, and even how they behave. This leads to feelings of exhaustion, resentment, and eventually burnout. By setting clear and healthy boundaries, you take back control of your life. You assert your rights, stand firm in your beliefs, and ensure that you're treated with the respect and consideration you deserve. One of the first things to understand about setting boundaries is that they are not selfish, they are necessary. Many people struggle with the concept of boundaries because they fear they'll be perceived as rude or unkind. The truth is, boundaries are an act of self-care, not selfishness. When you set a boundary, you are simply communicating your needs, your limits, and your expectations. It's a way of telling others how you expect to be treated and ensuring that you are taking care of your own mental, emotional, and physical health. The people who truly respect you will appreciate your honesty and will adapt to your boundaries, as these actions ultimately strengthen relationships. Setting clear boundaries is also about knowing your limits. It's easy to get caught up in the demands of daily life, whether it's work, relationships, or social obligations, and feel like you have to give everything of yourself. But if you keep giving without recognizing your own needs, you risk depleting yourself. Understanding your limits is essential to maintaining a healthy balance. When you know what you can and cannot do, you can protect yourself from overcommitting, taking on too much, or becoming overwhelmed. In order to set clear boundaries, it's important to start by identifying what your personal boundaries are. These boundaries might vary depending on the situation, but they all center around what is acceptable to you and what isn't. For example, it's crucial to consider your emotional boundaries, how much you are willing to give emotionally in relationships, how much you are willing to share, and when you need space for yourself. Some people may be emotionally demanding, always requiring you to give more of yourself than you feel comfortable with. In such situations, it's important to recognize when you need to step back and recharge, and to communicate that clearly. There are also physical boundaries that you need to be aware of. Your time, energy, and space are valuable, and you need to protect them from being invaded or overextended. For example, if you're working long hours and find yourself getting physically exhausted, it's important to set a boundary around your time to ensure that you get the rest you need. Physical boundaries also extend to your personal space, whether it's in your home, in social settings, or even in the workplace. If someone invades your space or makes you feel uncomfortable, you have every right to assert your need for space and privacy. Another crucial element of setting boundaries is recognizing the difference between personal boundaries and professional boundaries. In professional settings, it's important to define what you are willing to do and what you are not willing to do. This doesn't mean that you should refuse all work or shirk responsibilities, but it's important to be clear about what is reasonable for you. For example, if you're working long hours and your workload is becoming overwhelming, it's okay to have a conversation with your boss or colleagues about your capacity. Setting professional boundaries means protecting your time and energy so that you can perform your work to the best of your ability without sacrificing your well-being. When setting boundaries, it's also important to practice assertiveness. Assertiveness is the ability to communicate your needs, desires, and limits clearly and respectfully without being passive or aggressive. It's about standing firm in your beliefs and knowing that you have a right to protect your time and energy. Assertiveness is different from passivity, which is when you avoid expressing your needs or allow others to infringe on your boundaries without speaking up. It's also different from aggression, which is when you impose your will on others in a forceful or hostile way. Assertiveness strikes the balance between being respectful to others while also honoring yourself. Learning how to say no is a critical part of setting boundaries. For many people, saying no is difficult. There's often a sense of guilt or fear of disappointing others, especially when it comes to family, friends, or colleagues, but the truth is, saying no is not only essential for your own well-being, it's also a sign of self-respect. When you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you are making space for the things that do. You're not being disrespectful, you're simply recognizing your limits and making choices that align with your values. It's important to remember that you don't owe anyone an explanation for your boundaries. Your no is enough. Another key to setting clear boundaries is understanding that it's not just about saying no, it's also about saying yes to the things that matter most to you. By setting boundaries, you're creating a life where you can prioritize what's important. You're creating space for your passions, your goals, your relationships, and your self-care. When you have strong boundaries, you are better able to show up fully for the people and things that truly matter in your life. Without boundaries, everything can feel chaotic and overwhelming. But with clear boundaries in place, you create a structure that allows you to live more intentionally and with purpose. Of course, setting boundaries is not always easy. It requires a great deal of self-awareness, self-respect, and sometimes even courage. There may be situations where people challenge your boundaries or push back against them. This can be especially difficult if you're used to people pleasing or if you've been conditioned to put others' needs before your own. But the key is to stay firm. You may feel uncomfortable at first, but over time, asserting your boundaries becomes easier and more natural. It's important to recognize that setting boundaries is not about being rigid or unyielding, it's about finding balance. It's about protecting your well-being while also allowing room for the healthy relationships and interactions that will nourish your life. When you set clear boundaries, you may find that some people in your life struggle to adjust. They may be used to you saying yes to everything or accommodating their needs at the expense of your own. This is where communication becomes key. When you set a boundary, it's important to communicate it clearly and respectfully. Be open and honest about your needs and explain why the boundary is important for your well-being. It's also essential to be consistent. If you set a boundary and then let it slide when someone pushes against it, it will send mixed signals. Boundaries need to be respected by both you and others, and that means being consistent in enforcing them. Sometimes, despite your best efforts to communicate and maintain your boundaries, there will be people who continuously try to push past them. In such cases, it's important to recognize that you cannot control others' behavior, but you can control how you respond. If someone repeatedly disrespects your boundaries, it may be necessary to reevaluate the relationship and consider whether it's a healthy one to continue. This can be a difficult decision, especially if the person is someone close to you, but it's important to recognize that you deserve relationships where your boundaries are respected and your needs are honored. Setting boundaries also requires ongoing self-reflection. As your life changes and you grow, your boundaries may shift as well. What worked for you at one point may no longer serve you at another. It's important to check in with yourself regularly and assess your boundaries. Are you feeling overwhelmed or stretched too thin? Are you neglecting your needs? Are there areas where you need to assert stronger boundaries? By regularly reflecting on your boundaries, you can ensure that you're maintaining balance in your life and protecting your well-being. Setting clear boundaries is essential not just for protecting your own mental and emotional health, but also for fostering healthier, more respectful relationships with others. When you set boundaries, you show others how to treat you. You teach them that you are worthy of respect, that your time and energy are valuable, and that you expect to be treated with dignity. The people who respect you will understand and honor your boundaries, and those who don't are likely not people you want in your life anyway. Boundaries allow you to live authentically and to focus on what truly matters. By protecting your time, your energy, and your well-being, you create a life that is grounded in respect both for yourself and for those around you. The people you surround yourself with play a vital role in shaping your life. Whether they are friends, family, colleagues, or acquaintances, the individuals you choose to have close to you directly influence your mindset, your mood, your success, and your overall well-being. It's essential to be intentional about the company you keep because the energy, values, and behaviors of those around you will inevitably impact your own. The phrase, "choose your circle wisely," serves as a reminder that not all relationships are created equal. In fact, some relationships can help you grow and thrive, while others can hold you back, drain your energy, or even harm your mental and emotional health. Choosing your circle wisely starts with understanding the importance of the people you allow into your life. Each person you spend significant time with contributes to the overall atmosphere of your life. Think of it like this: if you are constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, or pessimism, it's much harder to maintain a positive outlook and a sense of inner peace. On the other hand, when you are around people who uplift you, challenge you in a healthy way, and encourage your growth, you are far more likely to thrive in every area of your life. The first aspect of choosing your circle wisely is recognizing the impact that energy has on your life. People with positive energy can inspire you, motivate you, and make you feel like you are capable of achieving anything. They are the ones who celebrate your victories, encourage you when you're down, and offer support when life gets tough. Their presence in your life brings a sense of warmth and optimism. They help you become the best version of yourself, and they see potential in you even when you don't see it in yourself. These are the people who will walk alongside you through challenges, offer a shoulder to lean on, and remind you of your worth when you doubt yourself. On the flip side, there are individuals who bring negative energy. These are the people who tend to criticize rather than encourage, who drag you down with their constant complaints, gossip, and pessimistic views. Their negativity can be draining and toxic, leaving you feeling exhausted, stressed, or defeated after spending time with them. These people might not have ill intentions, but they may inadvertently hinder your progress by sowing doubt, fear, or insecurity in your mind. If you consistently allow negativity to infiltrate your life, you will start to feel as though you are constantly swimming against the current. The weight of their negativity can weigh you down and prevent you from reaching your full potential. Choosing your circle wisely involves assessing the energy each person brings into your life. It's important to recognize when someone is contributing positively to your growth and well-being, and when someone is pulling you away from your goals and values. While it's natural to want to help others and be there for them, you must also protect your own energy. You are not responsible for the emotional well-being of others, especially if it comes at the expense of your own mental health. Another important factor in choosing your circle wisely is understanding your values and how they align with the people around you. People with similar values are far more likely to support your ambitions, share common goals, and maintain a healthy dynamic with you. Values are the core beliefs and principles that guide your actions and decisions. Whether it's integrity, loyalty, kindness, or ambition, your values shape the person you are and the decisions you make. When you surround yourself with people who share similar values, there's a natural sense of understanding and respect. These individuals support you not just in your successes, but also in the way you live your life. They respect your boundaries, they trust your intentions, and they hold you accountable to the best version of yourself. You don't have to constantly explain your choices or justify your actions to them because they see and understand where you're coming from. They can relate to your goals, your vision, and the way you approach life, and they are more likely to offer constructive feedback and genuine support. Conversely, being around people whose values are completely different from yours can lead to conflict, misunderstandings, and frustration. If your friends or acquaintances have different priorities or perspectives, it can create a sense of dissonance. This isn't to say that people with different values can't be in your life, but it does mean that there needs to be mutual respect for the differences. If you are constantly trying to explain or defend your values, it can create emotional exhaustion and lead to feelings of alienation. In extreme cases, being surrounded by people who don't respect or understand your values can lead to toxic relationships that undermine your sense of self. Your circle should also consist of people who inspire you to grow. These are the people who challenge you in positive ways, who push you out of your comfort zone, and who encourage you to be better. Having individuals in your life who are striving toward their own goals and personal development can help keep you motivated. They set examples of how to keep moving forward, even when obstacles arise, and they provide the kind of energy that makes you want to improve and evolve. It's easy to fall into a pattern of complacency when you are surrounded by people who are stagnant or content with their current situation. If you are constantly around individuals who don't have the desire to better themselves or achieve their goals, it can be difficult to maintain your own motivation. On the other hand, when you are around people who are ambitious, passionate, and committed to their personal growth, it can have a profound impact on your own mindset and drive. These are the kinds of people who will celebrate your progress, encourage your dreams, and help you stay focused on your goals. In choosing your circle wisely, it's important to remember that your environment plays a significant role in your mental and emotional health. If you're constantly surrounded by individuals who are caught up in drama, negativity, or unhealthy behaviors, it can have a detrimental effect on your state of mind. You may find yourself feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or caught up in unnecessary conflict. On the other hand, a supportive, healthy, and positive environment can promote peace of mind help you stay grounded, and make you feel more capable of handling life's challenges. When you are surrounded by people who lift you up rather than drag you down, it becomes easier to stay focused on your own personal growth. The quality of your relationships matters far more than the quantity. It's better to have a small circle of genuine, supportive, and positive people than to have a large group of acquaintances who don't have your best interests at heart. Genuine relationships are built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. These are the people who have your back in times of need, who encourage you during difficult times, and who celebrate with you in moments of triumph. They understand your strengths and weaknesses, and they accept you for who you are. Sometimes it's necessary to reassess your circle. As you grow and evolve, you may find that certain relationships no longer serve you. People change, and their priorities, values, or actions may no longer align with your own. It's important to acknowledge when a relationship is no longer healthy and take the necessary steps to distance yourself. This might involve having difficult conversations, setting boundaries, or, in some cases, ending the relationship altogether. Letting go of toxic relationships or those that no longer contribute positively to your life can be one of the most empowering decisions you make. While it can be challenging to let go of people you've known for a long time, it's important to prioritize your well-being. Sometimes the people closest to you can unintentionally hold you back or drain your energy. Being around people who are consistently negative, critical, or unsupportive can prevent you from reaching your full potential. By choosing your circle wisely, you open yourself up to healthier, more fulfilling relationships that will nourish your soul and encourage your growth. Choosing your circle wisely also means learning to trust your instincts. You have an innate sense of who is good for you and who isn't. Pay attention to how people make you feel. Do they lift you up or bring you down? Do they support your goals, or do they dismiss them? Trusting your intuition is key to making decisions about who you allow into your life. Sometimes, even without concrete evidence, you might feel that someone isn't a good fit for you, and that gut feeling is worth paying attention to. Lastly, remember that choosing your circle wisely isn't just about taking people in, it's also about the energy you put out into the world. You should strive to be the kind of person who uplifts others, supports their growth, and encourages their success. By cultivating positive energy and being a source of support, you naturally attract like-minded individuals who share your values and aspirations. When you become the kind of person who contributes positively to others' lives, you will find that the right people are drawn to you. At the end of the day, your circle is a reflection of who you are and who you're becoming. Surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded individuals who support your growth and respect your values is essential for creating a life that is fulfilling, peaceful, and successful. By choosing wisely, you create an environment that empowers you to reach your highest potential and live a life aligned with your true purpose. Remember that you have the power to curate your circle, and that the relationships you foster will play a significant role in shaping the person you become.